A quick note before we start. Everything here is gathered from public sources online, so some details may be incomplete or out of date. I'm not an expert. If you spot a mistake, please drop a comment so I can learn and fix it. Thanks for watching with an open, curious mind. Run your tongue across your teeth right now. Smooth, isn't it? That smoothness is the product of an entire modern industry. A toothbrush, a tube of mint paste, floss, and a dentist you keep meaning to call back. Now delete all of it. No brush, no paste, no one to drill, fill, or numb the pain. For almost the entire history of your species, this was simply reality. So how did anyone keep their teeth at all? To answer that, you have to stop picturing a bathroom sink. Picture instead a human mouth from tens of thousands of years ago. The strange thing is, we can actually look inside it. Not through guesswork but through the very stuff your dentist scrapes off and throws in the bin. That hard yellow crust on teeth has a proper name. It is called dental calculus, and it is simply plaque that has slowly turned to stone. And it happens to be one of the finest time capsules in all of archaeology. Because when plaque hardens, it seals things inside. Tiny scraps of food, plant fibers, and even fragments of DNA from the bacteria that lived in that mouth. A dentist might scrape a few milligrams off you in a single visit. Some ancient teeth carry 20 times that much, locked in place for thousands of years. Every mouth, in other words, kept its own diary. And the people writing it had no idea, which is a comforting thought the next time you skip flossing. Somewhere, an archaeologist is grateful. In a 2013 study, Adler and colleagues sequenced this hardened plaque from dozens of ancient skeletons. What they found quietly rewired how we picture ancient mouths. Before farming, the community of bacteria on human teeth was relatively calm. The aggressive, cavity-causing microbes were surprisingly rare. Then agriculture arrived, and the balance tipped. As people began eating soft and starchy grains, their mouths filled with exactly the kind of bacteria that rot teeth. The Neolithic, the period when humans first took up farming around 10,000 years ago, was, for your teeth, something close to a catastrophe, and it got worse much later. The same line of research suggests the bacteria that now dominate your mouth only seized control recently, around the Industrial Revolution, when cheap sugar and white flour flooded in. Your ancestors, Penzo, for most of the story, were spared the very thing your mouth swims in today. So return to the original question. Without a brush, what did people actually do? In many parts of the world, the answer was a stick. Not just any stick, but a chewing stick. You take a fresh twig from certain trees, gnaw one end until the fibers fray into a soft little brush, and scrub. This tool is called a miswak, and it is still used today across parts of Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia. Written records describe teeth cleaning sticks in ancient India, in ancient Greece, and in Rome, and the choice of plant was not always random. Some of these twigs carry natural antibacterial compounds, which is a fairly clever piece of chemistry for people we like to imagine as primitive. When something lodged between two teeth, they picked at it, the same way you do after popcorn. Some things about being human really do not change. For a long time, this was the tidy story the fossils seem to tell. On many ancient teeth, right at the roots, in the gaps between them, you find thin grooves. Since the early 20th century, these have been called toothpick grooves. Proof, it seemed, that even Neanderthals cleaned between their teeth. Some researchers went as far as calling toothpicking the oldest human habit. It is a wonderful image. A Neanderthal, leaning back after a meal, working a splinter of bone between two molars. Except a study published in 2025 put a serious crack in that idea. Researchers examined more than 500 teeth from 27 species of primates, including wild animals that had plainly never held a toothpick in their lives. The grooves were there too, which means those marks may not be evidence of cleaning at all. They can be carved by ordinary chewing, by grit hidden in food, or by dragging tough plants through the teeth. The oldest human habit, it seems, may not have been a habit, it may just have been lunch. And here is where the bigger myth falls apart. You have almost certainly heard that ancient people had beautiful teeth because they never ate sugar. It is a soothing idea. It is also not quite true. At a site called Tafaralt in Morocco, researchers led by Louise Humphrey studied hunter-gatherers who lived around 15,000 years ago. That is thousands of years before anyone planted a single crop. More than half of their teeth showed cavities. The villain was not candy. It was wild acorns, gathered, cooked, and pounded into a sticky, very starchy paste that clung to their teeth and slowly ate away at them. No farms, no sugar, ruined teeth anyway. So what did you do when a tooth truly began to hurt? For most of human history, Bercy, the honest answer is that you endured it. But not always. On a single skeleton from northern Italy, known as Villa Bruna and dated to the end of the Ice Age, researchers found something remarkable. Someone had taken a pointed flint tool and scraped inside a decayed tooth, apparently trying to dig out the rot. It is the oldest known attempt at anything resembling dentistry. No anesthetic, no reclining chair, just a sharp stone and a patient with extraordinary nerve. Now come back, one more time, to your own mouth. That electric brush buzzing on your sink is waging war on a bacterium called Streptococcus mutans, one of the main engines of tooth decay. It is the same kind of microbe that settled into human mouths thousands of years ago. The enemy is ancient. Only your weapons are new. But your mouth also carries an injury your ancestors almost never had. Look for the tiny notches worn into teeth right at the gum line, the ones modern dentists see again and again. In those 500 wild primate teeth, that specific kind of damage barely appeared at all. It seems to come from thoroughly modern habits. Brushing too hard, sipping acidic drinks, and eating food so processed your jaw hardly has to work. You hold tools your ancestors could not have imagined. You have also invented brand new ways to wear your own teeth down. Your ancestors kept their teeth with frayed twigs, with patience, and with a diet that, for all its brutal hardships, mostly kept the sugar away. They recorded the whole struggle in the one substance they could never scrape off. And every time your tongue runs across that smooth, clean enamel, you are feeling the outcome of a fight that began long before dentists, before toothpaste, before farming itself. The tools have changed almost beyond recognition. The mouth and the small, patient war being fought inside it has barely changed at all.